Have you guessed by now? Australia is the worst team in Group B of the 2017 Confederations Cup, but I think they're going to come out of this group. As part of my bold predictions for Group B, like I said in my last video for Cameroon, I do think every team in this group is going to win at least one game. Cameroon and Germany, Germany's B or C team even, are more talented than Australia. Why am I picking Australia as my surprise team for this tournament? I'm doing it because I just think you look at the matchups they have in this group, there's a better sense of familiarity between the Aussies and the Chileans and the Germans. In many of recent friendlies, and overall in the last few years in general, Australia has put on pretty strong performances against Joachim Löw's best German lineup. I also think there's two stories of revenge here in this tournament. It's not just Mexico and Chile. That's the revenge storyline. It's also Chile and Australia. Chile humiliated Australia. This very similar, very same lineup Australia's taking to this Confederations Cup were humiliated by Chile at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Same manager, almost the exact same squad. And I think that due to the fact that Chile is playing their last game against Australia, and while I do believe Chile will win both of their first two games, I think they're going to be the only team in this tournament to get the full 6 points from their opening two games. I think by the time they play Australia in the group, they're not going to play with the same intensity, and they'll know that they don't even need a draw to get through. It's sort of like when a team already qualifies for the World Cup and they only have a couple of games left to play, they're not going to play with that same psychology as they would if they still needed to qualify. I think Chile will make it to the next round before they even kick off against Australia. And due to the fact with that in combination with the whole revenge factor, I think Australia is going to get a draw against Chile. Taking a look at Australia's lineup for the tournament, we have goalkeeper Matthew Ryan, defender Mikos Degenek, defender Alex Gersbach, forwards Tim Cahill, midfielders Mark Gilligan, defender Dylan McGowan, forwards Matthew Leckie, defenders Bailey Wright, forwards Tommy Jurich, Robbie Cruz, Jamie McCarran, midfielder Aaron Moy, midfielder James Troisi, James Jago, defenders Aziz Behich, midfielders Adjin Hrustić, defenders Ryan McGowan, Trent Sainsbury, and midfielders Massimo Luongo, Jackson Irvine, and Tom Rogic. I think this is a squad that is pretty good. Australia is the only team in Asia right now. I mean, you just look at them. Tom Rogic, Max Cruz, Matthew Ryan, Tim Cahill, Massimo Luongo. These are young, really talented guys. Well, granted, Tim Cahill is in his late 30s, but he's the seasoned veteran. He's the captain of this Australian team. He's been with them through many tournaments dating back to the 2006 World Cup, probably a few Oceania Cups before that, back when Australia was a part of Oceania. And I just think this Australian side matches pretty well with a second string German team. They play a very similar style of football to the United States, which is tactical and physical, one that doesn't really rely on individual talent because there's not a lot of individual talent within Australia. But they play the same exact brand of football that is effective against the Germans. And I'm just thinking that this is a team that knows how to grind out results. You look at them in Asian World Cup qualifying in Group B, the toughest, the tightest group right now in Asian World Cup qualifying. Uh, they're the only team in that group that have not lost a single qualifying game. I think they're on 3 wins and 5 draws or something like that, whereas superior opposition in Japan and right now arguably Saudi Arabia, they have lost already. So Australia reminds me sort of like an Asian version of Uruguay. Uruguay being notorious in South American football as being a team that uses mental fortitude to grind out results when they normally shouldn't be doing so. Now, of course, I'm not comparing them to Uruguay as far as skill is concerned because Uruguay is a vastly superior team. I'm just trying to give you an example of how Australia stacks up against the rest of the sides in Asia. They're sort of like a Uruguay in Asia. And granted, this is not the best Australian team that has taken the field in the last decade or so. This is an Australian team that is a shell of their former selves. I think the best generation Australia has ever had was that 2006 World Cup round of 16 finishing side. But guys, it really does say something about a team and their ability to always, even when they play at their worst, to grind out results against opponents that are better than them. So that's why I'm picking Australia. I just have a feeling. You can call it superstition or speculation. I think they match up very well with this German team, and I think the whole revenge factor against Chile is going to come into play here. And I'm picking them as my surprise to advance in second from Group B. So I'll see you in my next video where I give my knockout stage and final predictions for the 2017 Confederations Cup. And then after that, the tournament starts tomorrow, and then we just got to sit back and watch. Until then, everyone, peace out.